So I'm on the button. I've got a hand I can raise with. Ace five suited. It's a no-brainer. The big blind makes the call and we're heads up to a flop. Now, I don't think I could have asked for a better one. Ace, ace five. Yep, I've flopped a full house. Trouble is, the big blind has such a wide range defending here against the button open, I might struggle to get paid. Now, they check it to me, and I've got this one so locked up, I check back, hoping to let them catch up a bit, or maybe even start bluffing on later streets. The turn is a 9 and they check again. Maybe here I need to put in a small bet to try and build the pot. He could have something that wants to continue, a flush draw, a random 9, maybe even 6, 7. I keep with the slow play option though, praying they might fire the river. The river is another 9, so it's a double paired board now. And yeah, my full house has been downgraded a bit, but I'm sure I'm still way in front. They check back for a third time. Now I've just got to put a bet in, but I'm not holding much hope on getting a call. Would a king high make a call? Well, let's find out. I bet they snap fold. It's always so hard to get paid in button versus big blind pots when you get such a strong flop for the initial raiser. The very next hand, I get king queen of clubs in the cutoff. The hijack opens, and I think I miss a trick here when I just make the call. Now, I have looked back at the hand, and I think this would be a great hand to raise with. But then I checked it with GTO Wizard, and they surprised me because they say it's 100% a call here. Anyway, the button decides this hand is worthy of a raise. It folds back to me, and I make the call from out of position, which I'm happy to find out GTO Wizard agrees with. That's me making two correct decisions in a row. Who would have thought? Now, the flop comes Jack 2-3 with two clubs, giving me a good flush draw, backdoor straight draw, and two overcards. So I check it to the button, and they see bet for about a quarter pot. Now, I could call here and try and realise my equity, but instead, I go for a more aggressive option. If I do check raise and I can apply some pressure, it's a semi bluff where if they fold, great, but if they call, I've still got a ton of equity with my draws and overcards. So I make it 22 bigs and my opponent quickly folds. It's nice to take down a decent sized pot without the stress of a showdown. Then it happens. I get dealt the best hand in the game. Under the gun opens and it folds to me in the low jack. Now, obviously, I want to try and build a pot, and the under the gun player should have a strong range, so I can comfortably range it here. I put my chips in, and then I hear the beautiful sound of even more chips going into the pot. The cut off cold four bets to just under 20 bigs. What a spot to be in. Now, action folds back to me, and what do? Will a re-raise scare off a lot of his hands? Do I just call here and play a four bet pot out of position? And when he's raising under the gun open and a low jack 3 bet, he must have a monster hand. What are we looking at? Jacks plus and then ace king maybe? I think he'd call a shove with those hands, so that's exactly what I do. I shove, he snaps, and we see we're up against ace king suited. He needs some help, but the flop's no good for him, and he's drawing dead on the turn. That's a monster pot to pick up. Now, it's just under half an hour before I get another hand that I can really get involved with, and what a hand it is. I look down again at pocket aces in the low jack. This time, I am the one that's opening the action, and once again, I'm getting raised, again from the cutoff. Haven't we been here before? Now, I've got similar questions to the last hand, and I wonder if a re-raise here will scare off my action. But being out of position, I think I have to do it just for my own peace of mind. The cutoff has a little think about it, and I get worried that I might have blown it, but they press the magic all-in button and arms snap calling. The cards are flipped, and I'm up against ace-king again. The flop is clean. A king on the turn gives a little bit of a sweat, but a brick on the river's perfect for me, and I take down another big pot. It's just a couple of hands later, and I'm in the small blinds with 10-9 offsuit. Everyone else has folded, and I just complete so I can try and see a cheap flop. The big blind checks, and we get a flop ace 10-8 with two clubs. I'm not worried about the ace because the big blind's pretty short in chips and think they would have played an ace stronger blind v blind, so my 10 is probably good here. I leaned into the big blind half pot, and they make the call. Now the turn is the 4 of hearts, so I'm still sitting here thinking I'm good. I bet again and again throw in half pot size. The big blind calls, leaving himself less than a pot size bet behind. And the river is an other ace, which further reduces the chances of him having one, so I blindly put him all in. There's no snap, so I know my 10 is good. They have a think and eventually make the call with king 10. It never even crossed my mind that they might have a better 10. I was just being overconfident after my last 2 big wins. Oh well, it hurts, but not too much. I've still got nearly 100 big blinds. Let's just move on. Half an hour passes, blinds have gone up, and I've chipped down to 50 bigs. Under the gun opens the pot, and I'm in the low jack with ace jack suited. I fucking hate ace jack, but I can't not play it. Should I raise and under the gun open with this hand? According to GTO Wizard, no, I shouldn't, and that's exactly what I did. Not because it's the right play, just because I'm too scared of this hand. It's ridiculous. Anyway, we go heads up to a flop that is ace high. Under the gun bets 2 bigs, and there's no way I'm not calling here with this hand. I don't want to see another heart on the turn, but so far I'm kind of happy with the situation. The turn is the 10 of spades, so I'm still in a happy place. Under the gun bets again, but only for about 1/3 pot. Now, it's not screaming a person that's happy with their hand. Pocket kings or queens maybe, just trying to see where they are. I call again, and the river is another 10. Under the gun's less than a pot size bet behind. They think about what to do and end up settling on a tiny, tiny, tiny block style bet of just 4 bigs. Now, should I be raising this one? He's played it pretty conservatively, but then again, so have I. I think my hand's probably under-repped here. It is ace jack though, and I've got a horrible track record with this one. Sod it, I'm just going to call. We table our cards, and under the gun shows ace king. He had me beat the whole way. Yep, I've lost the pot, but can't help thinking he's left value on the table there, and I got away lightly. Well, it looks like it's pretty hard to get a hand in this game now. It's another half hour before I get involved again. The low jack opens and it folds to me on the big blind. With ace 10 offsuit, I'm happy to see a fairly cheap flop, so I make the call and we're heads up. It's 9-6-2 with 2 spades, and I check to the pre-flop raiser. They check back, which I'm delighted to see. All sorts of combos or Broadway cards wouldn't really like that flop because as the big blind, I could have any of it. The turn's the 3 of clubs, which is another good card for the big blinds. Now, I want to start to represent something here, so I lead into the low jack for about half pot. They make the call, and we see the 4 of spades on the river. So the flush gets there, as well as being 4 cards to the straight. Yes, he's got the range advantage, but I've got a huge nut advantage here on this board, I think. So I continue with my story, and I put him all in for about a pot-sized bet. I get snap called, which can only mean one thing. I'm beaten. He turns over pocket 5s and wins with a straight. It's hard to bluff a guy off a hand by representing the hand that he super blocks. Not good. A few hands later, and I've got ace 10 again, this time in middle position. I open rip it for 10 bigs and nearly get it through. The small blind wakes up with something and makes the call. He turns over pocket 7s and we're flipping. Forget that. The card in the window's another 7, giving him a set on 7-8-3. The turn is a 9, giving me an open-ended dream, but a 4 on the river is a buzzkill. That's me out. Late reg is nearly done, but I can't leave it like this. I bite the bullet, fire again. I need a hand, and I need it pretty fast. And what do you know? Ace 10 again. This time I'm on the big blind. Under the gun limps off a 6 big blind stack, which is pretty strange to see. Then action folds to the button who covers the table, and he raises, but does it small to just 3 bigs. The action's on me. What else am I waiting for? Yes, under the gun could have a monster, but I'm not so worried about the button because most people would raise bigger to isolate if they had a real hand. So let's go for it. I shove all in for 11 bigs. Under the gun folds, which is super weird play off that stack, but hey-oh, each their own. And the button, they make the call. They turn over ace 4 of spades. I'm ahead and actually in pretty good shape. The flop changes that though. 9-8-2 with 2 spades means we're basically flipping now. No spade or 4 and I'm back in this thing. The turn is a king and the river is a 5. Neither of them spades, so I double up. I've actually got some chips to play with. On the big blind again, and I've got king 10 of diamonds. We're 7-handed and the low jack opens the pot. The button, the same player from the last hand, makes the call and it's on to me. It's just one more blind to see a flop with a hand that could flop well, so I'm in. King Jack 9 with 1 diamond is a pretty nice sight for me. I've obviously got top pair and a straight draw, but there's also a slim chance of going runner for that elusive royal flush. I check to the aggressor though, who opts to check behind me. And the button isn't that kind of guy. He's not letting this check through. He bets just over half pot. Now, we saw this in the last hand. He's not afraid to gamble. And with top pair and a ton of equity, neither am I. I re-raise and shove all in. The low jack folds, and after a little think, the button makes the call. I could be in trouble here. Oh, he's made the call with just ace high. He's going to need runner. And the turn doesn't disappoint. It's the queen of hearts. Yes, I've got a straight now, but he does have a draw to a bigger straight. Good job I block it with my 10. The river is a ball pairing 9 and I double again. I can't help feeling that was a total gift from this guy. Unexpected, but gratefully received. Another hand that perhaps I could actually leave out because it's not that exciting. I open from the cut-off with ace king. The button calls and the big blind calls, putting him all in. Flop comes ace 6-3 with 2 hearts. I'm not going to mess about with top, so I see bet for half pot and the button calls. The turn is the 9 of clubs. If he's got 2 pairs or a set on this, then I'm going to cry. But until I see some sort of resistance, I'm just going to keep betting. 2/3 pot this time, and that's too much for the button. He folds. The all-in player shows his cards, queen 5. He's drawing dead, and I'm up to 50 big blinds. The next hour is a painful one. I just sit there folding all my terrible cards and watching my chip stack dwindle away. We do survive the money bubble and even make a money jump, but I'm getting seriously low on chips now. We're down to the final 2 tables and I'm sitting in dead last. With less than 7 bigs to my name, I get dealt pocket 10s in hijack. No need to ask what I did here. I shoved, everyone folds. I think I would have preferred the chance to double up there and would have taken any flip, but I'll settle for just picking up the blinds and antes for now. Now, a couple more people go out and we're sat on the money jump. Okay, it's not big, but with all my winnings going to charity, every penny counts. I've got queen jack of diamonds in the cutoff and action folds down to the hijack. They open the pot and you can see in the top corner the blinds are actually going to go up the very next hand. It's time for me to make a stand and these are the cards to do it with. I raise, but I opt to keep a chip back just in case someone else has woken up with something and I get a small chance to ladder up. That doesn't happen though. Action folds back to the hijack who puts me all in. Okay, let's run it. I call and they show ace 2 of hearts. At least I've got live cards, I guess. And the flop misses us both, but gives the hijack the nut flush draw. Damn it, that's some of my outs now gone because I can't hit a heart. The turn is a 6 and the river a king, meaning the ace high wins. I'm out in 13th place.